Hi colleagues, as most of you know, my name is Dr. Nancy Vetta. I'm a teacher at Mary Carroll High School. I teach English Language Arts, and I'm also the building representative for the Corpus Christi American Federation of Teachers, and I was just recently elected Vice President of the Corpus Christi American Federation of Teachers, and Ray McMurray, the President of CCAFT, is here with me, and we've recorded this segment especially for the Carroll High School campus because of the uncertainty that's surrounding our school. Ray, as you know, there's a new school on the horizon, or maybe two schools. We're getting a new principal. We just don't know what's going on with Carroll High School. Can you give us some insight as to what's going to happen, or what the possibilities are with the opening of a new school, or the two schools remaining open? How faculty is going to be able to transition into a new school and all of that?
Well, I appreciate your interest on this, and I want those watching to know that AFT is going to monitor this process, and I have my own commitment to this because, as you know, I coached and taught at Carroll for many years, and I have a very fond interest in what goes on there. But I'm very concerned, as many taxpayers are, and many people watching the situation, and that when this bond was passed, we expected a new high school to be built. We understood that. But in the development phase, they called together a design team. And many people came together, and the idea was that the new school was going to embody the culture through design and structure and through tradition.
Right.
There were many things, even Carroll students were called and part of that design
team.
And
faculty members too, staff and faculty members.
So there was no doubt that the administration and the JANAC firm and the contractor who put the school together, I mean, the idea was that this was going to be the new Carroll. And I think that we have reached a point where it's almost a fiasco in how we've handled the construction and development of this new school, because we entered into the building phase without a guaranteed maximum price, which to me was irresponsible. I mean, the whole way we changed the bid process, the way contracts were awarded, the way we began building without a guaranteed maximum price, and then all of a sudden there's new information and demographic information, and now we're not going to necessarily make it Carroll, and we're going to go to 6 schools, and that may be a good thing. But my point is that it's not what people were told. Okay, it wasn't the original impression that was given, and whether we go to 6 schools or this is the new Carroll High School, we're going to watch this very, very closely. And if it does become the new Carroll High School, how are employees going to be hired? I don't think it's right to make these teachers reapply. We ought to transition and move the staff from Carroll High School as it presently sits, and then that becomes the new staff at the new Carroll High School, if this really is the new Carroll High School. If it's going to become Carroll, then why is it that we can't take the Carroll staff over there?
Well, and then the other question is how can they keep the old Carroll open? I know some staff and faculty members have communicated to me that there are slabs of concrete falling when it rains, and some of the classrooms get flooded when it rains. So how can they keep that school open? Or if they are going to keep it open, why don't they maintain it? Our bathrooms are a mess. The floors are slippery. The mirrors fall, and they're left without being replaced. They're taking away our towels in the bathroom sometimes. You know, what's going to happen with that, Ray? Because I'm really concerned for the safety of our students and our teachers and staff.
Well, we have an aging infrastructure, and just because we have an old building doesn't mean that it can't be a nice building. I went to St. Edward's University. All the kids wanted to be in the main building, which was one of the oldest historic buildings. But you know what? It's been preserved and it's been invested in. We can no longer use it as an excuse that our schools are old or they're aging. You know, Harvard is, what, 400 years old?
Yeah.
And so the age of the school is not what's important. It's how we take care of them, how we invest in them. And we're going to, at some point, need a new bond because it's not fair to build a multi-million-dollar high school on the south side to serve a certain group of kids and allow the rest of our schools, and we have over 60 campuses in CCISD, to then just decay and fall apart. And you're right, we need to invest in our other schools, and we have not done that the way we should. And so I'm hoping that we can You know, and it's going to be a problem because now as the community looks at the bond for the new high school, if they see that that was handled wrongly, if that was handled irresponsibly, is the public going to support a new bond? And if they don't, then it's all over now of these other schools that pay the price. And because I think that we're going to have to go in and invest in our infrastructure, you know, new paint, even redesign, refurbish. I mean, there's a lot of things that can be done at Ray, at Carroll, at Miller, at Moody, and all those vertical communities to reinvest in those schools and bring them up to speed.
Well, Ray, I think more than ever, and faculty, staff members, more than ever, we've got to unite on the Carroll campus. We've got to be strong, and the unifying force in this case will be our collective work to ensure that if we go to a transition, that we'll have a powerful voice and we'll have a powerful say in what happens with that transition, whatever that may look like or whatever that may be.
I want to remind the teachers and the school employees at Carroll High School that the American Federation of Teachers is about empowering employees. How do we empower employees? And you said we're going to have to organize. If you're watching this, you're going to have to stand up. You are going to have to make your voice heard. And it doesn't help us if we have fractured voices. We have to have one voice through the union, organized, backed with resources, that all stands together. I mean, if the employees are going to be empowered, if we're going to make a difference on how these decisions are going to be made, with real deference to what's good for employees, what's good for the worker, and because that translates into what's good for kids and what's good to student achievement. But we need to be at the table, and if you want to be at the table on how these decisions are made, we're going to need you at the board meeting. We're going to need you at special call meetings. We're going to need you to stand up and speak together so that we're doing the right thing for all workers.
And even when I know we're going to reinvigorate our Corpus Christi AFT Carroll High School leadership team at Carroll. I hope that when we send out petitions or things for you to sign, that you will do so, but also that you will join us. If you're not a member, please join us. We need you. This is very serious. What's happening to school employees at the state level, coming from the legislature, is devastating. And what's happening locally or even on campus-wide is a little stressful. It's distressing. So it's good to know that you have people who are by your side, professionals by your side. I'll be there for you if you should need anything. And I think a lot of people who are on the campus have already come to me with some concerns, and everything is treated confidentially. We don't go out and start advertising your names that you came to us and talked to us, but we're here because we're professionals. We care. All of you care for our kids at Mary Carroll High School. We care for each other, and that's the type of family we need to be at Mary Carroll High School, one who is united, one who will speak out and speak up, and even laud what the school district does if they make the right decisions. So I think, Ray, that we have a good team at Mary Carroll High School. Thank you for talking to me about this, and if you should have any concerns about anything, please feel free to come by room 248 or call me, or even call me on my cell phone, 774-2227, and of course call the office. The phone number here at the Corpus Christi American Federation of Teachers is 855-0485, and Ray will be happy to talk to you about any concerns you may have. Ray, do you have anything to add?
Well, I just want to let the employees know that, and whether this is at Carroll or anywhere else, is that we are stronger together. The word union really means one. If we are fractured into 4 different groups, and even if those groups are all good, inherently that there's 4 different voices weakens us. And it's why collective bargaining states and strong union states have better pensions, have better salaries, have more protections for the contract. You know, we are at a state where we're going to have to stand up together, whether it's protecting your campus at Carroll or whether it's protecting this teaching profession. We cannot stick our heads in the sand. We have to organize.
Yeah.
We have to organize with one voice.
Yeah, and I think that this business of politics, people not getting, teachers or faculty members or school personnel not getting involved in politics, is just not a practical way to view what is going on in our schools right now, because we don't have collective bargaining. We need it. And if we don't have collective bargaining, the only other chip that we have is to get involved in politics, and that is talk to our school board members, talk to our legislators, talk to those people who make the decisions for our schools. And certainly if we don't speak out and speak up and advocate for our children, no one else will. That's why, you know, with Ray, we're getting together with the community. We're getting involved in with charitable organizations and helping them out and helping out parents and trying to do the best that we can. So Ray, thank you.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank
Vetta.
you. I appreciate it.
You bet. And again, this is a call to the Carroll community. If you work at Carroll High School, we're going to need to stand together. Thank you very much.
Thank you.